Good morning. I want to continue in the theme of encouragement that comes out of the book of Hebrews. Hebrews says this: when God made his promise to Abraham, since there was no one greater for him to swear by, he swore by himself, saying, I will surely bless you and give you many descendants. And so after waiting patiently, Abraham received what was promised. Now, people swear by someone greater than themselves, and the oath confirms what is said and puts an end to all argument. Because God wanted to make the unchangeable nature of his purpose very clear to the heirs of what was promised, he confirmed it with an oath. God did this so that by two unchangeable things in which it is impossible for God to lie, we who have fled to take a hold of the hope set before us may be greatly encouraged. We have this hope as an anchor for the soul, firm and secure. It enters the inner sanctuary behind the curtain, where our forerunner Jesus has entered on our behalf. He has become a high priest forever in the order of Melchizedek. Hope and refuge is based on a promise, if you like, which is an oath that God himself has made. God made this promise to Abraham. You know, Abraham essentially was confident because he knew that God was true to his word. He had an assurance and was able to project that assurance into his family. You know, he would become the person through which God was going to bless the whole of the world. He kept on believing because because God had promised. He knew God would never let him down. So how much more encouragement do we have? You know, the same principle remains, you know, that today we've got far much more to be encouraged about because God has sent the Christ into the world. Now, because God has made a promise, that's the end of the argument. Because God has made promises to us, that should end the debate about whether God cares or not. We know that God, in swearing by himself, being a credible witness, establishes the facts. As in all human affairs, an oath puts an end to an argument. So when you go to court, you're asked to take an oath in the Bible. Why? Because the expectation is that your oath, your word, which is your bond, will be true once you've taken that oath. And so Abraham was able to wait patiently because he trusted what God had said to him. Now, for some of us, in the things that we've been asked to do by God, patience might be a tough thing given whatever circumstance we might find ourselves in. It's not always easy to be patient, especially when things are going really, really difficultly and really badly. But that's what Abraham did. Abraham hung on despite the difficulties he endured and he faced. Why? Because he recognized that God's promise was based on God's character. Okay, so God has made a promise, and God's character is contained in that promise. God is faithful, God is true. If God makes a promise, he's not just honor bound to keep his promise like everybody else is, but his character cannot allow him to break it. It's impossible for God to break the promise that he's made, because his character being holy means that time and space would break before God broke his word. And so Abraham's confidence was based on the promise that God made to him. Abraham understood God's character. He understood, there's a sense in which Abraham's faith, from a spiritual point of view, was unwavering because he really understood what God was like. Okay? So the unshakable nature of Abraham's faith was due entirely to, I think, his understanding of the character of God. And so we're all faced with challenges in our walk and in our life. And I want to encourage you today that whatever promises God has made to you, like Abraham, you can hold on to them. You can be confident that God isn't, he's not a man that he should lie. He's not like us in the sense of he's not fallible. So if God makes a promise, and if God has made any promises to you, you can be absolutely certain that he'll keep what he said to you. The Lord bless you. Have a great day.